My name is Gurmeet Singh Chugh. I'm Managing Director of Translumina Therapeutics. We are based out of Delhi and our facility is in Dehradun. See, if you look at the overall stent market in India, I think annually now we are at around 6 lakh stents and growing at a speed of around 15 to 18% every year. Out of these 6 lakh stents, pre-2017, we have to take two eras, pre-2017, which means before the price caps and after the price caps. Before the price caps, the multinational stents were around 65% and 35% were the Indian stents. And post 2017, there's a lot of changes which has happened in the overall landscape, and now Indian stents represent almost more than 50% the market. I would say 50% is shared by now the Indian stents and the multinational companies which are selling stents here. And within multinationals company, the three major players are the US multinationals, and within Indian companies, we have around 11 stent manufacturers, but out of them, three manufacturers, which is Translumina, SMT and Merrill, put together, they have around 80% market share of the Indian stents market. So they are the three major players. If I recall, the first Indian drug-eluting stent was created in 2002. I mean, almost a year after the American multinational J&J launched their first stent in India. Now, the challenges are two. Number one is that this is a very, very R&D intensive business where you need to really put a lot of capital into it, and the chances of failure are very high. Every creation of every new drug-eluting stent is almost equivalent to creating a new pharma molecule. Now, within Indian companies, we face two challenges. Number one is that since the chances of failure are high, there are no organized large companies which have invested in this space. And so when we look around, we don't have any help either from the government in terms of diagnostics lab, animal trial facilities, core lab, which are integral to creating new technologies. And even if you create by doing international collaborations, there is a huge challenge of the acceptability of Indian products within India. It's surprising that the discrimination against Indian products is highest in India compared to other markets. And now we have a lot of companies which are, including us, which are exporting these drug-eluting stents to quite a lot of countries. But if you come to look at our own market, we are predisposed to an idea about imported products, and similarly that creeps into the stents. And within the counseling rooms with the doctors and the patient, where they are advised about the stent, in various government tenders, in the public procurements, there is a hardcore preference for American products or US FDA approved products. So the problem for us is that the market doesn't differentiate between a good and a bad product, but there is a clear segmentation on the market between an American and an Indian product. And this creates huge limitations for us. See, regulatory challenges are two-pronged. Number one is, on one side, importing a product till a couple of years back was more easy than manufacturing a product, because if you look at the kind of licensing we need when we create a manufacturing unit, for every raw material you need to register the products, whereas it is very easy once you have certain certificate to get an import approval. On the other side, we are also concerned by certain companies within India and certain companies coming out of China who were getting these approvals much easier than what it should be. So a good regulatory system creates more predictability for the companies who really want to invest in good quality products. And that is something which is evolving. So I would say it's a good step forward. From 2018 January onwards, we have new medical device rules which are better than what it was like a couple of years back. But a lot needs to be done in terms of bringing an absolutely new Medical Devices Act, which creates clarity for the companies which are investing and gives edge to the companies which are investing in hardcore clinical data and quality compared to the companies who have no plans to invest in it. Ayushman Bharat will have a very, very significant impact on the market and of course the Indian made stent. We are looking from here, where we are today, the market doubling in the next 2 to 3 years. But the main challenges would be that every hospital would insist on an affordable product with a very high quality. Now currently the quality barriers are not there. I mean, if your product is approved, irrespective of the trials you have invested in, you'll get the same price for the reimbursements. But I'm sure sooner or later the government will come with some kind of quality criterias for hospital to put these stents on the patients. Also, there is a huge challenge of making these products accessible and available at the B, C and the D class cities now, which will be starting these procedures. So metro will not remain the only places where the patients are where the procedure of angioplasties were happening, like a couple of years back. Now it has already reached to, the smaller city, and it will reach further down. So the challenges for any company, whether it's Indian or multinational, is to ensure that you have a channel by virtue of which you can make these products available, and the last mile connectivity will remain very, very important. This is where Indian companies would have advantage, where they can create partnerships, they can have various distribution channels to ensure that the products are available. And with Ayushman Bharat, we are expecting the market to go very high. So with a higher market will always encourage companies to further invest in R&D. See, Translumina was created in 2010. It has two partners, and both of us were earlier associated with a large multinational company as their marketing and sales head. So we had an experience, but what we found lacking was that the quality was coming to India at a very high cost. And we truly believe that you can still create a quality product at an affordable cost, which was a need since last several years in India. So we partnered, when we looked around, we realized that it will take a lot of time to invest in our own R&D. So we were partners with the German Heart Center for a couple of projects earlier in our careers, and they were coming out with a new technology. So we partnered with German Heart Center to create a situation where they give us all the hand-holding for the technology, and we create manufacturing standards in India. And this is what happened in 2010. You'll be surprised to know that we were the company, while all multinationals were launching the drug-eluting stent with almost 1 year clinical data, we decided to launch our product with 3 years clinical data. And so our flagship product, Yukon Choice PC, which is also now a world standard in terms of the quality and clinical evaluation, was launched in 2012. And since then, we have been investing in hardcore interventional technologies. But the way we differentiate ourselves from our competitors, whether it's American or it is the Indian competitors, that we do not launch a technology unless we invest in long-term clinical data. Because these technologies, the initial results look sometimes very enticing, but a lot of side effects are seen over a period of 2 to 3 years. So we stand ourselves out by creating long-term clinical follow-up of safety, effectiveness of the products, and only then we go to the market. And this has really worked very well for us, both in India and international markets. As I told earlier, that Translumina has invested in good clinical data. So it's very heartening, not only for us, but for India, that an Indian company comes with the longest clinical follow-up of safety and effectiveness of drug-eluting stents. So it was a proud moment for us that American Heart Association invited us to present our trial, where we compared ourselves against American multinational product for a period of 10 years, and not only showed the efficacy and safety for the drug-eluting stent, we also gave standards of safety for a procedure of angioplasty, which a lot of people were skeptical, and coronary artery bypass surgery and angioplasty were discussed quite as an option to the patient, because everybody believed that there are limitations of drug-eluting stents and angioplasty. And we also want to become a company which sells from a needle to a drug-eluting stent to a heart pump to the patient, and act as a single window solution provider to the hospital. So over a period of last 2-3 years, we have invested in all the products and accessories which are used for the procedure of angioplasty. And I can stand proudly today to say that we have the largest offering to a cath lab, and we can act as a single window solution to a hospital. So now from here on, we are moving in terms of investing in transcatheters wall, which we shall be launching in next 6 months. We have invested hugely in very high quality balloons, which are obviating the need of a lot of interventional devices for treating calcified lesions. And we have already launched these products. We are investing in the world's first miniaturized heart pump with associations.